2020-2021 EFL Championship fixtures have just been released, so I thought I'd take this time to showcase what I think will happen this season. Will Blackburn Rovers be victorious and get themselves promotion, or will it be a season of struggle? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at the Championship as a whole, 2020, 2021, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related, we got it all here, boys, under one roofski. That's right, we are less than a month away from the launch of the brand new season. Rovers have still no goalkeeper, we've got no kit, we're in absolute bedlam unless something has happened overnight. Of course, I'm recording this on Thursday, actually ahead of the fixture, so I don't really know what's going on. But really, I've got to get ahead of the game, boys and girls. Anyway, who is ahead of the game? Ultra Oma Murat, boys and girls. He is the brand new squeaky clean patron number 13, boys and girls. Unlucky for some, not for this guy. We are moving forward. So we have now 13 patrons in the gang. It is a baker's dozen. We are now we're accepting applications for number 14, 15 and 16, boys and girls. Get stuck in the old description. There is a link to the Patreon in the old description, patreon.com/Roverseas, to support the channel in another way as we gear on for another season. You will be there. You will be remembered in the end as guys that helped it matter. Or girls, should I say. So if you want to get stuck in, there's a link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. We need executive producers, boys. Executive producers for the channel. Kick it on forward. At the end of it, you will be rewarded. I promise you. I promise you that. Anyway, let's get into it now and take a little look at the flipping shenanigans here. We're going to start, as we do, always in our league predictions, smack dab in the middle, kind of tease towards the relegation spots and then tease towards the top. Instead of it being one long, drawn-out mess, let's jump in and have a little look then. So who do I think is going to finish in 12th? Well, let's have a little look then, shall we? Coming in at 12th, we have... In fact, we're slow down, boys. Before that, let's talk about the next season. We do have a prediction league for the Championship. What is the prediction league? I will get the prediction league, explain it on the channel very, very soon. It's just been mad this back end of the 2019-2020 campaign. But what it means, basically, if you follow the channel, smash the subscribe. There is a button in the bottom right corner. You will, if you just follow the channel, watch the prediction shows, get your predictions in the old comment section. That means you will be entered in the prediction league. I will do the mathematics and try and figure out who everybody's average rating throughout the season. And if you come out on top of the leaderboard at the end of the season, you will be crowned prediction king, and in this situation, of the Championship, boys and girls. We've currently got 2 leagues active, which is the Scottish Premiership and, of course, League On. You don't have to participate in all of them. You can always just follow the league that your team is in. For me, though, I'm going to be participating in all of them, and there could be as much as, I don't know, as over 10, including the Nations League and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a lot of predictions and a lot of mathematics. I haven't touched a calculator in years, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. So basically, follow the channel, smash the subscribe, smash the little bell so you won't miss a beat. And in this regard, just follow the Championship videos, follow the Championship breadcrumbs, and then get your predictions in. That's what we're talking about. So who is going to finish in 12th spot? We're going to start right back down in the middle, and for me, it is going to be Birmingham City. That's right, of course. You know, an excellent appointment in Karanka. I think this might be. It could be further forward on this one, but I just think the turnaround time. You can't expect miracles to work overnight. He's come in, been out of the game, the English game for a little bit, not too long. Of course, he was he Middlesbrough manager, Forest manager, and he did very, very well for both those teams and pushed them towards the top end of the table, or at least the top half. I think he'll do just that for Birmingham, but it's still a bit of a cloud of uncertainty. Did they get a bunch of money for Bellingham? I'm sure they did, and if they play their cards right and invest wisely over the next few weeks, of course the transfer window is open for the next 2 months. Birmingham could be a dark horse really to get themselves into that top 6, but for me I'm going to go with mid-table. And again, they should look at it as a season of progress, transitional season for Karanka. Next season will probably be your year if he's still in charge. Next up we have Bristol City, and another team that's going to have a transitional sort of period. They've just, of course, they've got rid of Lee Johnson the back end of last season. This season, they've hired from within. And some of the people I follow on Twitter and all that kind of jazz, they're not completely happy with this one. This could actually be a sour appointment. It feels a little bit, like a cheap option. But of course, we are living in a climate today where we've got to cut corners, boys and girls. And of course, you could hire a manager of Chris Hughton stature or of XYZ stature and pay the big money at a gamble to kind of push yourself forward. Or you could ride through these rough times. I think Bristol City have decided to ride through these times with a more affordable option. and try and steady the boat a little bit and see just what can happen with a sort of less expensive manager. So Bristol City, for me, are going to be in mid-table, around about 14th. Season of struggle, maybe we'll just have to wait and see on that bad boy. Next up, we have into 15th spot. It is QPR. Now, last season, I actually got lambasted by QPR fans for what I thought would happen. I thought they would struggle. They didn't struggle. Well, they didn't have a fantastic season, but they did have a lot of goals in them, and that was the key. Scoring the goals, keeping them up. Warburton's still around. He's done well, and at the moment they still have Easy. He still has that Samuel fella. He still has a lot of creativity in that team, and I do expect them to be well clear of the relegation dogfight this time. But I don't think they're going to make too many pushes forward these days. So yeah, QPR still a questionable side. I don't really believe in Warburton. I think there are a possible better avenues out there, better managers for them if they want to kick on further. Right now they've got a lot of talent on there, but of course we are still waiting for that domino effect in the transfer window. For example, the Sancho move to Manchester United may then spring forward Wilfred Zaha from Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace would then pick up a Brentford player, maybe Watkins, and then maybe Brentford will gobble up Eze or I don't know. It's just all, we're waiting for that big move, and QPR could, if they can hold on to the talent, they might do better, but also they might get a lot more money, and if that is the case, they might kick themselves further up the table. So 15 for me. Next up, who do we have? We have into 16th, Millwall, of course, just finished outside the playoff spots. They did bring in a massive signing in Troy Parrott on loan from Spurs. He is, of course, highly sought after, and if he gets it right, just like Harry Kane, he had a loan spell out in Millwall, and if he gets it right, scores goals, he might actually it might go the other way. That's how difficult the Championship is at the moment. You just don't know. It is quite congested. And I had a difficult time picking this bottom half of the table. I think once it gets around about 18th, it kind of all falls into place a little bit. But I think Millwall under matey boy Rowett, I think they did okay. I think they probably did a better than they expected, to be honest with you. I think they're a middle echelon sort of club. Rowett's got ambition though, which is great, and bringing in signings like Parrott will do them well. But unfortunately for me, I just think that they're going to struggle, and maybe, just maybe, they will not bounce back or bounce forward. Next up, we have Huddersfield Town. Again, they've decided to part ways with Cowley. Of course, it was brought in last season with great hype and expectation, but it didn't really pull off for him last time. This time, they've opted for a Leeds assistant. Don't really know the name, don't really know what to expect, but I've just, you're getting thrown in the deep end. You're thrown into the lion's den, literally. We just talked about the Lions. Throwing into the never-ending pit, that's the Championship. Anybody can beat anybody on this one, so you've got to be at your best from the get-go. Huddersfield have not got any time to slip up, and of course they did struggle last season, and they were very lucky to survive. But this guy, unproven, untested, as number one, I think he won't. I'll be lucky if he lasts to December, and if he does, you know what? Maybe he is going to rapidly rise. And that's the thing. A lot of clubs are taking gambles with young assistants, hungry assistants, trying to prove their way, especially in times like these. So Huddersfield, again, another season of struggle, but I think they'll do okay. And keeping a hold of Grant as well. Carlin Grant will be massive. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen. Next up, we have Reading. Of course, they finished this season pretty strong, starting to climb up the table as well. So last time out, they actually finished in 14th, so it's a bit of a drop as well. And again, I'm not too sure about Bowen. Of course, formerly Rovers assistant manager. He did very well last time out, and maybe he does have the respect of the team. And that's the thing, getting the respect of the team, getting the team working towards your plan. They have got a lot of goals in them with Puskás as well. That was a big money signing last time out, and he did deliver. They also spent a bit of money on Lucas João, which I think did not deliver. Again, interesting if they can keep a hold of Swift. Did he already go to Sheffield United? I don't know. I think there was rumours about that bad boy. I'm trying to have a quick scan through the transfers. If they've kept a hold of Swift, which is a quality signing, a quality player at this level, then they've always got a leader and a player that can turn a game on a sixpence. So, but Reading, I think they will struggle in the end. So an 18th spot in the table this time around. Into 19th, who do we have? We have Barnsley, of course. Of course, Barnsley did finish the season last time around very, very strong, picking up a lot of points along the way. Struber, of course, throwing the kitchen sink in a lot of games. Hopefully, it won't be too mad dash scramble for them, but I do have them staying up. they do have a lot of goals in them. Coley Woodrow, one of them. Keeping hold of these players is monumental. So we'll see how they fare. Struber, of course, exchanged champion or Europa League football with Wolfsburg or Wolfstein or whatever it is from the Austrian League to come here for a relegation dogfight. He's hoping to turn the corner this time around. And again, this could be a springboard for him to kick on and maybe even with Barnsley, kick him on further up the table, or maybe himself get himself a better job because he's doing very well. And of course, he's got amazing plaudits so far. Next up into 20th spot, we have Rotherham United, of course, coming up last time out from the League One in of course, the abruptly ended season. Of course, it didn't pan out completely. There was a points per game basis, and Rotherham, I think, came out on number 1 spot. They're always a yo-yo team, but I think this season they're going to just stick around. Of course, keeping Paul Warne as manager will do wonders for them. Of course, he's been there, seen it, and done it. Been with Rotherham through the ups and downs, and hopefully he'll learn from his mistakes last time around and keep them in the top flight. I don't know what to expect from them. They could be a whipping boy this time around, but I just think there's going to be a couple of teams worse off than them this time around. Next up, we have Coventry City. I actually have them surviving on the skin of the teeth. So 2 of the 3 clubs that come up will remain up in my eyes, just like last season. Luton and Barnsley did stay up, and of course Charlton went down. Yeah, Coventry, I like them. I'm very happy to see them back at this level. Of course, I do recall them back in the Premier League days, way back when. Robbins is the man pulling the strings, formerly at Huddersfield Town. They've got some young, hungry players in there, and I think they're trying to make some moves already in the transfer market as well. I don't know what's going to go on with their ground. Are they going to have a new? I don't know what the situation is. Any Coventry fans, feel free to divulge in the comment section down below. Coventry City to hang on by the skin of the teeth, 21st spot. But who is going down? The first team for me will be Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I did anticipate them to struggle last season with the fact that there was the rumours of this 12-point deduction lingering as early as last season, but it never happened. And then, of course, they survived. They finished in 16th spot, but now they're going to be a hit with a 12-point deduction. I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for them. If you look at the table right now, 48 points, got yourself relegated last time around with Charlton. Sheffield Wednesday were only 8 points better off than that. They're going to start with a 12-point deduction. They're going to have a long way to pull that bad boy back. So it's going to be, I think, a bridge too far for them. I think they will suffer in the end. Sheffield Wednesday. Gary Monk is a good manager. If anyone's going to pull them out of the dirt, it is Gary Monk. And I feel sorry for him. He's kind of, I don't think it wasn't his fault, was it? It was the previous regime at pulling the strings, and he's just in there cleaning up the mess. And fair play to him. He's trying to do his best at the moment, but at the moment, I just think it's not going to be good enough. And Sheffield Wednesday, of course, will start with 12 points minus, and he'll have a long way to pull that bad boy. But win your first 4 games, and it's all wiped out of the way. Joining them in the relegation dogfight will be Luton Town. Now, I was actually gobsmacked with the performances of Luton Town at the back end. They rehired Nathan Jones to pull the strings. As of recording, I have heard that they could lose the likes of Cornick. I think Rangers are sniffing around, and there are some other clubs looking to bring him over to leave Kenilworth Road. But Nathan Jones, absolute the top man to do this. If anyone's going to keep him in the division, again, it will be Nathan Jones. But will he get sidetracked? Will he get lured elsewhere once again? He was tempted last time out for Stoke. Didn't really work out for him this time around. Has he learned from his mistakes? Is he going to stick around with Luton Town? I think he could be tempted once again when you look at the likes of Sheffield Wednesday or maybe even Huddersfield Town. If things don't go wrong or don't go right, they might look to Nathan Jones to be the man to come and drag them out of the mud. I just think he might get tempted. I don't think Luton will sack him. As long as he stays, they have a chance. But I just think he's going to be sidebar tempted by Bristol City if things aren't going right, or if Huddersfield if things aren't going right, or if Blackburn Rovers if things aren't going right. Nathan Jones could be the answer to a lot of clubs' problems, and I think he will get offered. Next up, we have Wycombe Wanderers, of course. Absolutely thrilled to bits that they're at this level, but I think Gareth Ainsworth boys will struggle to keep up with the demands at Championship level. They could be embarrassed a little bit unless they bring in some quality players, because of course fortuitously for them the season ended the way it did. They landed in the old playoff spots at the expense of Fleetwood, Sunderland, all those boys and girls, and they rode their luck, or rode their curtails all the way through to the final and beyond. So yeah, enjoy it while you last. I just don't think you're going to be here for too long. And if Akin Fenway's there, it'll be a good reward for the lad for playing at this level, and a good chance for him to showcase his skills and cause all kinds of defenders problems. He is a big old unit, and he is getting on a little bit. Can he keep up the pace? It is a tough old division, the Championship. I think Wycombe could be in for a long old season. Next up in 12th spot, Derby. Usually I would have Derby from further up the field. They did look the part, and I did think they were going to make that playoffs last time around. But there was also the rumblings of a possible deductions as well for these guys, so it could happen. And if that's the case, it might even be lower than that. You might even flip-flop them with Millwall. You just don't know. I'm giving them, even with a 12-point deduction, I think they have a good enough, strong enough side to just finish in the top half. So Derby County with Ray Rooney and co leading the line. Again, I don't know. The season could change dramatically in the next month or two with the transfer window. And then, again, a fantastic flying start in the next, the opening 3 or 4 games. You know what? Barnsley could be actually in for a run for the title. You just don't know. You just don't know with this division. There's always a few bogeys in the works. Derby, for me, though, I think they can finish mid-table. And the last time out, they finished actually in 10th spot, so this is just a small drop for them in the year. Next up into 11th, we have Cardiff City again. Neil Harris worked wonders for them. I thought once Warnock was gone, I thought it was all going to fall to shit for Cardiff City, but no, Harris has done bits for them, got themselves in the playoffs, but unfortunately they were ousted along the way to a better team. I just don't think. I think Cardiff. I think Neil Harris will do wonders. He's a good, affordable manager for Cardiff in this situation. I just don't think they're going to repeat their successes of last time out. I think they're going to have an okay season, but nothing that's going to put them in the contention for playoffs. Into 10th spot, it is Stoke. Last season finished in 15th. Again, I'm not convinced by what Michael O'Neill, of course, formerly during the back end of last season, I think he was juggling both Northern Ireland and Stoke. Now his full attention is on Stoke, and I think they'll perform much better this time around. I don't know. They could be in that top 6 discussion. It is very tight, this top 10. I think it could go a lot of ways. But I over ambitiously picked Stoke last time out to do very, very well, and I'm just going to go kind of middle of the road Stoke. So they could surprise us all. Michael O'Neill fully focused now. Hopefully we'll get the best out of him as a manager instead of being sidebarred with his Northern Ireland duties. Again, they've got the money, they've got the facilities and all that kind of stuff to lure some players that some other clubs can't. Stoke will be in the discussion, but unfortunately, I think they'll just fall short. Another team that'll fall short is Preston North End. Again, a team, they finished 9th last time around. It'll be pretty much as you were this time around. They've got a great manager, Alex Neil. Of course, he was tempted to look at West Brom. The penultimate season. Of course, they opted for Slaven Bilic in the end. I think they've got the ingredients for a team that could be in the playoffs discussion again. But as you can see, longevity and all that kind of jazz. Do they have the depth to compete at this level? Of course, they could beat anybody on their day, and we feel the force of a Preston beating or two over the past few seasons. They've not been our favourite side, of course, in the local rivalries and all that kind of jazz. They've just had the better of us for the past few seasons, and again finishing above us in the table last time out. But not this time around. As you can see, no Rovers so far. I think Preston are a decent side. They're going to be in the discussion. They're going to be floating around this top half of the table for the majority of the season. Ultimately going to finish where they are, though, 9th spot in the table for me. Next up into 8th, a bit of a surprise here. It is Bournemouth, of course, coming down from the Premier League last time around. Again, opted for a cheap option and hiring from within. Tisdale is now the manager, pulling the strings. Of course, formerly, I think he managed Exeter. I don't know. Been second string to Eddie Howe for a number of years. Again, decided to butt against the grain and pay the money for a higher quality manager, which I think would have worked wonders for Bournemouth to get himself bouncing back at the first attempt. But realistically, have they really warranted a place in the Premier League? I don't think so. They've done bits and they've had really quality players, but they were always a questionable team in that top flight. They were always in everyone's thoughts as a relegation team. Eddie Howe did wonders, and it is about the time that he moved on to pastures new. The era is over for Eddie Howe. Where he goes next, who knows? But Bournemouth, I think, will struggle this time around. Transitional season. They need to get rid of of course, Ramsdale's on the cusp of joining Sheffield United. Of course, Callum Wilson will go as well, and there's some other high quality earners, big time players will go, and hopefully Bournemouth can use that money to strengthen the team to compete at this level. And if Tisdale gets it all right, you know what, they might bounce back at the first attempt, but I don't think so. I think they're going to struggle this time around and be 8th in the table. Next up, we have the mighty Blackburn Rovers. Unfortunately, this hurts me to be ever so close, but to fall short. I don't know. I just don't know. We could actually have a really good transfer window, but the vibrations and the vibe around Ewood Park, and of course on the old social media, is we're not making the decisions. We've lost out on a good transfer, which was the defender from Northampton Town who decided to go to Brentford. Of course, why would you go to Rovers when you could go to Brentford, who are free scoring, free flowing football and all that kind of jazz? But yeah, there's no sort of no vibe about transfer activity. Maybe there's a lot of irons in the fire and all that kind of stuff. We haven't even got new kit yet. Everyone else is revealing their kits. Rovers have yet to do that. We haven't even got a goalkeeper. Goodness gracious. We have Fisher, young Fisher, and it looks, I dare I say it, we bring in another lone keeper. It irks me. We've never brought in a centre back for, I don't know, the last time I think was Elliot Ward. Goodness gracious me, what dross that was. Or Paul Downing. No disrespect. Paul Downing did a job. But we need to bring in some defenders on a 3 or 4 year deal. Someone solid. Yes, Scotty Wharton did wonders in Northampton Town, and he could be a part of the squad this time around, and I'm hoping he will be. But we definitely need another addition to join Darren Lennon to make a rock solid pairing at the back. And then, of course, we've got to have a number one goalkeeper, not a loanee who's only here to better himself. We need someone to better the team as a whole. Mowbray, pull your finger out, and maybe we can live up to these aspirations of being 7th, and maybe even beyond. We have got the attacking power. Yes, Brereton's a bit shifty, and Gallagher can be a bit squeamish sometimes in front of goal, but I think they are learning. They will get it together this time around. No DG to rely upon. We have the firepower, I think, to challenge everybody. Armstrong, Dak when he's fit, of course. Brereton and Gallagher as well. Holtby can deliver some goals. Rothwell when he steps up to the plate as well. We've got goals in this team, and I think we will be in that mix. And I'm more hoping we're finishing 7th because if we get in a number one goalkeeper that we've been linked with for the past few weeks, and then maybe we can compete and maybe push on just that one spot further into 7th. Who do I have at number 6 though? It is Watford. That's right. Again, bringing in an inexperienced manager at this level. This is the Championship, boys. Sometimes it works. It worked with Jovicic, I think he was a manager at Watford, Fulham, all like a manager that's been there, seen it and done it. But plucking somewhere from out of nowhere that we've never even heard of, I think is a recipe for disaster. I think they will have a bit of a disastrous start to the season, but they'll be one of those teams that they'll make a decision. They'll bring in Allardyce in. They'll bring in someone else that will springboard the team further forward and get them into the 6th spot at the last point of asking, at the expense of the likes of Rovers, Bournemouth and North End and Stoke. So Watford again, a lot of big time players. They need to trim that bill fast if they're going to be to survive. Of course, no fans for the first month, I suspect. But we'll see how that goes on. For Watford, they will struggle, but they'll make it into the playoffs. Who will join them into 5th spot? Swansea City. Yes, I was impressed with them. Of course, a lot of the fancy pants moves and goals towards the back end of the season came from Ryan Brewster, which I don't think will happen again. But I think Cooper knows his football, and I think the majority of that team will remain. And I think just a couple of tweaks here, there, and everywhere, and they'll be there in the discussion again. They did finish 6th last time around. This is an improvement on 5. I was not convinced with Cooper appointment this time last season. I did expect them to struggle, but I think this time around they're going to go one better into 5th. Into 4th. We have Middlesbrough. Yes, that's right. Goodness gracious me. Finishing 17th last time out, all the way up to 4th. It's the Neil Warnock effect, of course. He knows this division. I'm not saying he's going to get promoted, but he's going to push him in the right direction. This is a great appointment for him and for the club. I think they're going to do wonders. This is the appointment I wanted 4 years ago for Blackburn Rovers, before Mowbray came in. He would have turned us around and quick sharp, and you know what? We could have been competing for those the playoff spots for the past 2 seasons. But yeah, I think he's going to turn this club around. Will they get promoted? I don't know. Of course, they've got Brett Sunbalong, who scores goals at this level, and they've got a resolute bunch of boys as well in the back, and of course they're looking to strengthen as well. Woodgate was just unlucky. Again, they went with the local lad. The local lad failed, but they've gone with experience, and he got them safe last time around. They looked like they were going down. I think it's going to be a dramatic turnaround this time around, and it will be the Warnock effect. Quote me on this bad boy. Top 4, top 6 for Warnock and Middlesbrough. Into 3rd, Forest, of course. They had the worst reboot coronavirus period, whatever it is, sitting comfortably in the playoffs, and they absolutely free fell out of it into the 7th spot in the end. At the expense for Swansea to come through. They have just brought in Lyle Taylor, goal-scoring machine at this level. Of course, keeping the likes of Cash, Graben as well. They will have goals in abundance on this one. And they're going to be a team to fear. Joe Lolly as well, phenomenal player. They had a good defence as well with Joe Worrell, player that a lot of clubs are looking at still to this day. So no, Forest will get their act together, and they will be in the top 3 and hopefully get themselves a nice little playoff adventure at the end of the season. Into the final 2 now. Who's in there? Well, I think we all know one of them. The second one, I can't really remember. myself. It is into second spot. Norwich City, of course, coming in from the playoffs, or from relegation from the Premier League, sorry. Of course, keeping with Farker. He knows his stuff. And, of course, again, keeping the majority of the team that was there. They ripped up the Championship last time around. They have made a few additions since then. And they've also brought in a player quite recently. Is it on the old list here? Who was that player they brought? They brought in Skip, Oliver Skip from Tottenham. So that's a savvy little pickup as well. And again, keeping the likes of Timu Puki, who will rip it apart again in this level. He might be getting on a little bit, but he knows where the back of the net is. And just to wrap this bad boy up, so we know where I'm going, I am going with Brentford to come out on top this time around. Again, they've got a lot of good players on the books. Solid goalkeeper. Pontus Jansson's massive. They've just brought in Good from Northampton Town, who is a highly rated defender. And he will just add to the quality in there. Of course, keeping the quality at the club is monumental. And keeping the BMW moving, the Watkins, the Buen, what's his name, Mbembo, and the other fella. The other goal scoring machine up there. Keeping all them together will be massive. I don't think it will happen. I think they will lose one or maybe two of those guys. I think Watkins has probably gone, and the other one who was linked with Chelsea as well. I think they're going to lose those, and maybe even a couple of guys from midfield. It's an absolute quality team, but they know their roles. They know their team. That's what they do there. They buy talent quite cheap. They nurture it. They flog it, and they'll keep surviving. And that's what a lot of the clubs, including Rovers, need to do at this level. You know, we've got the Bradley Dacarinos, we've got the Adam Armstrongs, we've even got the Lewis Travis and Darrell Lennons. And if we were offered 10+ million for these, we've got to think about selling them at some point. We've got to move on. I'd love to keep them all, of course. We all do. We get attached to these guys, but that's not the way to survive, especially in these days. But this, my friends, is my 24 team championship prediction. What do you guys think? Get your versions in the comment section down below and tell me what you think is going to happen this season. That, my friends, is just about it. And again, a quick reminder that we do have the prediction league for the championship this time around. What's that all about? Just bang the old subscribe button and bang the little bell so you don't miss a beat. I should have an explainer happening over the next week or so. I do have tomorrow off, so I got a good chance to maybe bang out a couple of videos as well. So basically, just come watch all the match day predictions, match day by match day. Get your predictions in the old comment section, just like last season, and then I'll do the math and see where you figure in the old leaderboard, boys and girls. And at the end of it, you could be wearing a bit of gear, a bit of merch with a crown on top, and it'll say that you are the prediction king for the championship for this season. That's what it's all about, boys and girls. And that, my friend, is it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. And if you are new, bang the old subscribe button and keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related. Whoa! Football related all here. Boys under one Ruski. And if you want to go that extra punch and become a patron of the channel, there is a link down below. Patreon.com/Roverseas. Come join the fun and be a brother from another mother. Family forever. That's right. So, do you agree or disagree with me? I've got Norwich and I've got Brentford going up. And then it's a who's who in the old playoffs. Very, very excited about the new season. Hopefully you guys are too. Get your predictions in the old comment section down below. And I'll see you all very, very soon for some more championship coverage right here on the channel. Until then, I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.